Tēnā koutou katoa. Te Mario, welcome to this extraordinary meeting today, actually, of Nelson City Council on the 9th of July. Special warm welcome to Theo and to Vienna, our youth councillors who have joined us for today's meetings. It's lovely to see you here, especially given it's school holidays. So it's dedication from our youth councillors. We'll start the meeting this morning with karakia, and Councillor Sanson is going to lead the karakia. Kapai. That's a nice warm way to start on a very cold day in Nelson, but it's going to be a beautiful midwinter sunny day in the top of the south. We have apologies today. Who do I have apologies from? Let's check my run sheet. Do we have any apologies? Councillor Rainey and Councillor Skinner. I'm happy to accept their apologies, seconded by Councillor Courtney. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Now today we have, as I said, it's an extraordinary council meeting. I realise these agendas have come to you only a matter of a couple of days ago, and so I think the best idea is that when we get to the report, I'm going to let the officer talk us through the report and why it's here. The order of business will be very brief. I've allowed 10 minutes for this meeting because I understand that it's a procedural matter that needs to be addressed, and I'm not expecting it to take a particularly long time. Any interest in relation to the matters it's the general setting of rates, so I don't believe any of you have any particular interest that you'd need to declare today because we're dealing with the collective decision making. I don't have any public forum. I'm not going to do a mayor's report today because I want to keep the meeting moving along given it's an extraordinary meeting. So I'll hand over to the officers to explain the report to us. Welcome, Ms Harrison and Ms McDonald.
Thank you, through the chair. Yes, so apologies for bringing you in for an extraordinary meeting to correct an omission from the resolution. So because we have an unbalanced budget in this annual plan, something that is not, very common for us, we found that what we should have included was an actual resolution resolving to have an unbalanced budget, and that was missing from what we had you adopt. So the report you've got in front of us, first of all, we need to receive this report, and then we're revoking all those resolutions, starting with adopting the annual plan. And then on page 13 of your agenda, you'll see we have there under 3 and 4 resolutions to resolve to have an unbalanced budget, which you've consulted on and discussed, and it was just a procedural omission. So we would then adopt those resolutions and all of the ones that you have previously adopted, starting with adopts the annual plan. So it's really just to revoke all the previous resolutions, add the ones around the unbalanced budget, and then adopt them all again so that we're compliant with the legislation. So take any questions.
Thank you. Councillor Eager.
Yes, thank you for that, through you, Madam Mayor. Just 2 questions. So sorry, you were just running through the order of the resolutions. Based on procedures at the last meeting, I would have thought that resolutions 5 and 6 needed to be separate from resolution 7, because I thought we had to specifically adopt the annual plan and then as a separate step, set the rates.
Yes, through the chair, so if it wasn't clear, so we'd adopt the unbalanced budget, then we'd adopt the annual plan, and then all the others as last time, just with the insertion of those 2 extras. Thank you.
Okay, and sorry, my other question was, so at our 30 June meeting, we had amendments to the resolutions. I think they were provided to council by Russell McVeigh or Simpson Grierson. Thought it was Russell McVeigh. Anyway, lawyers, someone can tell me which one it was. So considering the unbalanced budget was always part of our original draft annual plan, I was just wondering how that was missed when we did have a lawyer or lawyers look over our resolutions.
So through the chair, Simpson Grierson have been looking over our rating resolutions for a number of years, and what they do is they look at our rating resolutions and our funding impact statement and ensure that those are consistent and legally compliant. But they have never looked over the entire document, and of course within the rates resolutions and the funding impact statement it wasn't clear that we were running an unbalanced budget. So one of the things that we'll be doing going forward is actually have a legal review of the entire document and the entire resolutions.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Noonan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Through you, my question relates to timing of the rates. So would given that we haven't, we're having to revisit this, is that going to make a delay on actually the rates being received by people?
So through the mayor, no. The actual rates assessments weren't due to happen until the middle of July anyway, so there's no impact.
Right, so that they'll get them the same as they would have. Great, thanks.
Any other questions? Councillor Courtney.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Through to Officer McDonald. I don't like that phrase unbalanced budget. I'd like you to just refresh our memories as to some of the contributing factors to that. I'm thinking of the Waimea Dam, the Nelson Plan and those matters that you did highlight in your report. If you can just refresh our memories on that, please.
So through the chair, the section 4.4 of the report on page 44 highlights 3 of the items that contribute to the unbalanced budget, but predominantly it is around the Waimea Dam grant of $5 million. If we hadn't had, because that's a one-off lump sum in one financial year, which obviously has benefits for multiple years, we would have actually had a balanced budget without that amount in there, but it's highlighted in 4.4 of the officer's report.
Thank you. Any further questions? No further questions. I've just got the same questions that I had when we got to the resolutions at the previous meeting. Officers, is everything in order? Is there anything else that you need to add? Any other directions that I need to be aware of?
No, there isn't, Madam Chair.
Chief Executive, are you happy that everything is in order? Are there any other directions? I note that I haven't got any directions here about the order of taking the resolutions. So I'll need you to talk me through that.
Yes, I'm happy with what the advice you are receiving today, and I'll just reiterate that I'm sorry that you've had to come back for an extra meeting to correct an omission from our. That was our responsibility.
All right, then can I please just have the officers, because I want to make sure that we've done this procedurally correctly. So if you could talk us through the procedure to make sure that it's done correctly. Thank you. Councillor Inger's given me some advice, but actually I shouldn't have to call on Councillor Inger for advice, so I'm going to call on the officers for advice to talk the council through.
Through the chair, so I would recommend that you receive the report first.
Thank you. Right. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Brand. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Bowater. Any further questions or debate? No. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you.
And then I would take revoking the resolutions that you've already passed.
Thank you. And that's clause 2 with all of what follows. So do I have a mover for the revocation? Thank you, councillor O'Neill Stevens. And a seconder. Thank you, councillor Courtney. Any questions? Any debate? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you.
And then to do 3 and 4, which are resolutions around your unbalanced budget.
Thank you. So we're now, somebody care to move 3 and 4? We can do that together, I understand. Is that correct? Thank you, councillor Sanson. Thank you, councillor Fulton. It's been moved and seconded. Any further questions? Any debate? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried.
And then adopt 5 and 6, which is adopting the annual plan and agreeing minor changes may be made to it.
Thank you. So now it's 5 and 6, councillor Brand and councillor McGurk. Thank you. Taken together. Any questions or debate? No, I'll put the motions 5 and 6. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried.
And then the remainder, which are around setting the rates.
All right, thank you. And that'll be 7, which is all of the remainder. I don't think there's any final one. I'll just double check. No, so it's the final clause is 7. Do I have a mover? Thank you, councillor Sanson, seconded by councillor Courtney. Any questions or debate? I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you. That concludes the business for the extraordinary council meeting, and we'll close today. And I think we'll have another cup of care to close. We'll pop up today. That will be just lovely. Just to clear the air, set the scene for the next meeting. All right, we've got to close that one. Okay, thank you. All right, let's have a stretch. We'll do the closing cup of care. Thank you. Close the meeting.